Yo.
I thought that was another. When we popped up, I thought it was another clip.
I'm just going to get used to it now.
Right.
Mhm.
What's
Oh,
happening, everybody?
what's
What's
going on? Who's
good?
hosting
What's
this bad
good?
boy?
What's good?
Let's
What's
get
that?
our
Wake up,
together.
everybody going to sleep and things. Well, get up real quick. Go on, wake up, people.
I need my
Well,
power nap, son.
okay, well, welcome to another episode of the Frag Illuminati, everybody. My name is Rock, and I guess I'm hosting. Um,
You volunteered. You
as you
volunteered.
right. uh, in today's episode, as you can see on our ticker, is house recommendations for particular houses. So if you are new to a particular house or if you are interested in some of the houses that we're going to present to you today, we're going to give you some recommendations or some inclinations of what direction you can go in when experimenting or trying to dive into these houses. These are not We're not trying to sell you anything, and this is not a recommendation as to that you're going to love these fragrances, because fragrances are subjective, but these are, in our opinion, um, and we've all done our own thing. So I don't know what anybody else is going to choose, except for we all have our own separate houses that we're going to display to you today. But other than that, we don't know which houses. I'm sorry, which fragrances that we are going to highlight in each particular house. So it just what we're trying to do is just give you kind of an entry level look into these houses. Some of them might be an intermediate, some might be a little bit advanced, depending on which fragrances that somebody used, this, that, and the other. So what we're going to do is, before we get into it, is let the fellas get an opportunity to say hi to everybody, and then yeah, to say hey to everybody, and also, aside from the fragrances that we're going to display, talk about some of the entry level fragrances that they um, purchase going into certain houses that they got to. And we're gonna start it with Bernie and see what he got to say. What's going on, Bernie?
Oh, hey, what's happening, everybody? How you
You know,
doing? So
we
get
typically
into the fragrances or just saying, what's good to everybody? Which
you
one you
just say
want to
what's
do?
good, and just give an example of an entry
Okay.
level fragrance, not one of the ones that you picked out, but an example of an entry level fragrance or an introductory level fragrance. Because there's a difference, right? To a house maybe outside, or what it means. Well, let's define what an introductory level fragrance is to a house.
I have no clue. I'm not gonna say it
Don't trip,
nonsense.
guys. I got it.
I have
Yeah.
no clue what is an introductory fragrance. I pick a fragrance and go get it. I don't get into all of that, but I let Dre handle the definition for that.
I'm gonna be honest.
Mm,
A lot of houses, I don't know, it's kind of difficult with them because some of them don't really have introductory. Most of
mm,
them are kind of linear and one dimensional as
mm,
far as the brand goes. I know there's other brands like mine, for instance, would be. I'll just go ahead and say one of mine, just because everybody kind of knows me from that, is the Rosia. And I know the introductory for those is usually the parfum colognes and things like that. But some houses don't have those. They don't have the lower tier per se.
Which is interesting that you use that, and we talked about that earlier. But it's interesting that those would be the ones that folks would consider the entry level into the
mm,
house.
Hmm.
Theoretically, a lot of the perfume colognes from Rosia are new, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they
mm,
were released in 2021, right? So, but with I guess the thing is with Rosia, with Rosia perfumes, is that their perfume, most of their inventory is so complex and this, that, and the other,
Yeah, it's like you would.
That was their intention to bring something into the realm that allowed it to be less complex, to allow people to be able to
I'm about
sample.
to say a little bit more
Mm-hmm.
user friendly. I guess if
Mm-hmm.
you could say that. But at
Correct.
least that's what I think from it, because just like you said, they're real. They got some stuff you're gonna have to love in order to wear or to get it all, and then at the same time, you got to look at the price too. It's like a lot of them prices are sky high, so you got to really know if you like that house in order to even get anything from them. But like other houses, no, I'll take who can I think of?
Not
Uh,
that one.
well, now
Not that one.
I'll say Penhaligons. Penhaligons, from at least from what I've tried, they're pretty much like all straight line. Like there's no real um entry
Standouts.
level to their brand that I've noticed at least. I think most of theirs are pretty much going to be on par with the others. I mean, like you said, what you like is what you like, so you're not going to like everything, of course. But I think they're all kind of just on that same playing field with each other.
Well, and I guess we could probably use a different word for it instead of entry level. I
Let
mean,
me jump in.
Mm-hmm.
What I think as an introductory fragrance, and I give example. Of course, there with particular houses, there may be entry level fragrances too.
mm-hmm,
But I think
Mm-hmm.
what I'm looking at is an introduction of fragrance that a company provides to people that will be more mass appealing than the other fragrances within that house. And I'll give you a perfect example with Creed.
so
Adventus would be one of
Mm-hmm.
those introductory
mm-hmm,
fragrance that would be more mass appealing than some of the others. And I think it would be a safer buy. I consider, and a lot of people may not agree with me, may not like what I'm saying on this, but I consider Adventus to be an entry level fragrance to Creed.
Yeah.
But that's
right.
just because I'm in the Creed, and some people would
Mm-hmm.
think it's the best thing since sliced bread. But a
Mm-hmm.
lot of times, those people are the ones that they gravitate from a designer, move up to a niche, and it's their first Creed, and it's the best thing they've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
You was kind
Not
Which
of
is
knowing that,
my mind, Leonard, because I was going to ask you that question. Because I was going to, like, number one, I didn't know if you were going to use Creed Aventus in your examples, so I
no,
didn't go
no,
there. But
no, I'm not.
I didn't go there. But you did bring up the perfect point of Creed being a introductory or entry level fragrance
mm-hmm.
into the Creed space. And you also mentioned about a person elevating from designer to niche
Mm-hmm.
perfumery. But this is not necessarily what we're talking about. We're talking about introductory into a particular house. You could have a
Right.
niche nose, but not necessarily been a part of this. Ventured into the particular house that we're talking about.
Yeah,
Is that safe
I
to
think
say?
Rocket. Yeah, it's say what I
Right.
was trying to make the
Mm-hmm.
example of
Mm-hmm.
why people find Advantage so
Mm-hmm.
when for me there's so many more better fragrances in that particular house than Advantage. It would not be one that I would recommend from that house as an introductory fragrance. And so when I
Mm-hmm.
go through, Creed is one of my houses that I'm going to give a couple examples of ones I would introduce people to
Mm-hmm.
experiment when going in that house. Say, for example, they want to go into Creed, mention the Creed, and they have no idea. And we see that a lot of times in
Mm-hmm.
these Facebook things. Okay, I'm about to go to buy, I want to get into Bodecia. What would you recommend? And for those people that don't
Mm-hmm.
know, they just don't know. So I think
Mm-hmm.
what I'm going to try to do, and I think what we're going to all try to do, is give them examples of things that would be safe for them to venture into a particular house, to where if they don't have a mature nose, they can somewhat transition from a designer into a niche safely, or that if they're already in the niche, it's a safe bet with that fragrance going into that particular house rather than getting one that's considered pungent and it doesn't flow well and they just write off the whole house. So that's probably what I'm going to try to do.
I mean, and that's a good, and I think we're all going to point in that direction. But because we just want to make sure that we differentiate, and there's going to be, especially with the ones that I'm bringing out, they're going to be kind of levels to it. You know, I'm going to bring out
Yeah.
one that I'm going to bring out a fragrance for someone that still has a mass appealing nose, right? Then I'm gonna probably bring one for the intermediate nose and then one for the advanced nose in that particular house, right? And go from there, right? And I'm not sure how everyone else is going to do it, but there is a, depending on the particular nose of the people that you're talking to at that particular person, I mean, at that particular point, they may be able to dive like someone that's just into Savage. You know, that's Dre's number one example. Savage. That someone that's just into Savage. You're not, and if you want to introduce them to Creed, you're not going to go right into Royal Oud. They won't get it, right? So but in a different type of house, you could recommend something else, or you could go with if Savage is their wheelhouse, then you would probably recommend something like a Green Irish Tweed as an introductory level to their Creed or something like that. So you go from there. All right. So let's get this ball rolling. Who wants to go first?
Is email Gmail or wait?
I'm here.
Huh?
I thought he was asleep, man.
I'm
Okay.
gathering my notes, so I guess I'll go first, guys. Since you just put me out there, Jack.
Like folks, it ain't me. I'm awake. I'm here.
Oh Lord!
Else, like they don't know that the record button is off.
Oh, let me see. I don't know what, because I got one to start with. You know what? I'm going with it. It is what it is. I'm gonna start with the House of Zergophicus. This one right here, you can't see it. I don't feel like putting it up to the camera. Like, well, whatever.
Gotcha.
Vehicavore.
Okay.
Vehicavore is one that I would highly recommend to anybody that's jumping off into this world. It's one that's it's not super hard to get. You can get it off the site, but it's about the only place you can get it that I know about. But to me, it is one of those mass appealing scents. It's let's see what it has in it. Now, this is the interesting one, right? So this has quince. Don't know what that is. White peach, dark chocolate, red berries, Moroccan rose patchouli, agarwood, which is oud, caramel, Madagascar vanilla, amber, cashmere, and musk.
Okay. Question. Okay, so question. For that one, you're recommending that one to someone that has not experienced anything from Georgia
Yes,
yet? Why
absolutely. This particular one, which is actually kind of shocking, because you know a lot of people are, a lot of people have to be ready for oud, right? That has oud in it, but you don't really get a lot. You don't get that oud, so you don't really detect it. This is just one of those that I've let a few people smell, and everybody that I've let test it out. I mean, everybody that I've let test it out that's not in the fragrance community loves it. So it let me know, okay, it's a good one, and it could prepare them for what's to come as far as oud goes. Now, for the house, if you like that, you're probably gonna like a lot of stuff Zergoff has to offer because they have a lot of mass appealing stuff. I know a lot of people say a lot of their offerings are a little bit more masculine, on the masculine leaning side. And there's some people that don't care about that, but I think for the average person, they can easily find about 4 or 5 out of that house easily that they would enjoy. Um, and you can pretty much just expect that from them anyway. Like most of the stuff they have is going to be, you may not love it, but I don't think they'll have too many that are turnoffs. So I don't think they have too many that let's say you go out and blind buy because you're new to the game, and most people are going to be blind buying. I don't think they would have too many of them that are going to be like, oh no, oh no, I can't mess with that house. Like that's one of the houses that's most of it's going to be pretty much enjoyable for the most part. Like I said, there's going to be a few that they may not like on their skin, just how it performs or how it leans per se. But I think for the most part, people enjoy it.
So, what type of fragrance wearer would you attract that fragrance to then?
Kind of like this particular fragrance.
Mm-hmm.
Shit. I don't know. Does anybody want to wear it anytime? There's not. To me, that's not one of those that kind of has a certain occasion. It's like it's one of those that you can kind of pull off almost anytime. It's like, I mean, I don't suggest wearing it when it's 175 degrees outside, but on a cool summer day, like 75, 80 degrees, something like that, you can pull that off. And be walking around smelling amazingly.
Okay, so you pretty much know what Leonard's scent profile is, right? You're familiar with what his scent profile is. Leonard, for this example, and I'm not sure if this is true or not, Leonard. So just bear with me for this example. Leonard has a mature fragrance nose.
Yeah, this would be more on his level of
right, but he hasn't experienced Xerjoff. Why would this particular fragrance be the one that you want to talk him into trying?
Because you know what he has?
Based on what he wear.
Hold on, let me see if I can find it. All right. Oh no, I didn't. Leonard is a fan of this one.
Of course.
Dark Desire.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This one is similar in profile to Via Cavour.
Mm-hmm.
So if he enjoys this, he's absolutely going to enjoy that.
Okay.
Now there are a few others. I wouldn't necessarily give him 40 knots or anything like that, because Glitter has never struck me as somebody that just wants to be bold and loud and announce that he's in the room. He just wants people that's in his circumference to know, yeah, I smell good, and you know it, and I'm not going to mention it to you. Like it's like that's his type of feel. So it still has. Now this does kind of project a little bit more than I'd say a few of the offerings that he does have, but I think this is one. It doesn't protrude too loud to where it's like, man, who was that? Like, a bunch of head turners and stuff like that. I don't think it's going to do all that. So I think that's something he would enjoy.
Gotcha. You got a couple more or what?
Oh shit! I didn't know we was doing the whole thing. We're gonna
finish your house, and we'll just come back to you.
I got the others. I didn't know we was all doing them all at once, but since we are, you already know what I'm going for. Nope. I'll start with Boadicea. This one, now this is probably for I'll give this for somebody that's mature, but they're not like they're like the ones that they're like us. Like they like us, Rock. Like we wear the sweatsuits and things like that. Well, you too, Bernie. Right. Like we wear the sweatsuits and things like that. We don't really kind of go all off with the dressing up style. So I think I would give this one to us. Azrak. Azrak is fire. Azrak is a nice rose combo. It does
Show the
have.
whole
Let me go to.
presentation, Dre.
Huh?
Show the whole presentation. I mean, not the box, but show the
Oh, I'm about to say like, that's the only
right.
presentation I got right now, Jack. But so the back, I mean, both sides of the bottom are always gonna have a medallion of some sort. So this one has this little medallion, then it has the front medallion that has the name and all this reflective material.
Right. And for those that are familiar with the brand, the different, like some people will look at that bottle and swear it's blue sapphire. Blue sapphire has a sapphire right in the dot in the middle of it.
Right in there, and
Right.
there's so many.
Right.
Like a lot of people get confused by them because it's a lot of them that look the same. This one has bergamot, lemon, pineapple, cassis, whatever that is, cardamom, cinnamon, spices, rose, jasmine, violet, lily of the valley, violet leaf, woodsy notes, agarwood, oud, moss, amber, cedar, and sandalwood. This is one of the few rose oud combos that I can say is built for the summertime. I don't know of any other rose oud combo that shines in the summer like this does. Now, in my honest opinion, I don't know for sure. Putting it on record, what I'm about to say may not be true, but I believe it is, so it's going to be true today. I do believe this is a high price clone house, but what they have some good stuff. Like they usually, from what I've seen so far, it's like they take inspiration from something else and make it better. And as you can see up there, I have plenty of them. I love the brand. You're always going to get a nice bottle. The packaging is so. The as far as the box and stuff like that, that's so. But I think this is one of the safer ones from the house to try out. To just immediately when you're first getting off into the house, I think this is one of the safer ones to do because this is like it still has like a fun element to it without being too without being childish, basically. And by childish, I'm just saying age wise, like the when you was kids got the extra loud stuff on, blah blah blah. So they now a lot of stuff you're gonna get from them is gonna be very high priced. But I think for starting off with that house, I do believe that is a good one. Trying to see if I have any others that I believe it would be good to start with. Because I know people don't want to just jump in and just go straight for the $12 million fragrances.
Yeah, it's a big hit.
And I'm about to say, unfortunately, I don't have any of the other ones that are on the spectrum of not that high. So that's going to be the best one for me.
Yeah, with that one, I also have that fragrance, and it's one of my favorites in my entire collection. Now,
for good reason.
Exactly, and with that one, it's not a fragrance that I would recommend to somebody that does not have a niche nose at all. You definitely have a niche nose. You definitely have to have a rose oud nose for that one. Now, what's great about that particular fragrance is that how it transitions. It transitions from a rose oud fragrance, and then when it dries down to a completely blue fragrance. And it lasts completely all day. Now, if you are a stranger to niche perfumery at all, it probably will not be a fragrance for you. Like Dre said, it's very expensive, right? That particular fragrance, I mean, that the house itself is pretty expensive, but that fragrance right there will run you $600 retail, right? So,
and that's on the cheaper end of what they offer,
right? And that's
like right there in the middle tier or something like that.
Yeah, that's the cheaper end of that house. So I'm pretty sure later on in the show that Dre has more from that house that you're going to show.
I can.
I mean, I'm not sure how you had it set up, but
I didn't necessarily have it set up that way. But I can show some offices right here.
But
we can go.
Yeah,
Oh, go ahead.
yeah, that one particular one. Yeah, I mean, or that particular house, right? Yeah, it's something that someone that's already has an experience knows would want to dive into.
Yeah, I about to say, because one of the more expensive from the house,
Hmm.
and keep in mind, people, I do not pay retail for anything because I don't believe in that. But we got Michelin star.
Hmm.
This one, at the time, I think it was actually out. I don't think it's available for purchase anymore. But I think at the time it was out, it was like 980 ish. Um, I could be lying. It could have been higher than that. I'm not sure. So, but I know it's up there. It's closer to the 1,000 range than it is to the 400 range. Now that is fire. I don't know what that's supposed to be, as far as like if it's supposed to be another fragrance or not. But that one's fire. That's a fire cherry scent, and I would recommend that to anybody if you're prepared to
Mhm.
go all in. Like some of these you have to be prepared to really just jump off in the waters. Like you're not trying to take your baby steps. You're trying to get straight to the big dogs. And so I'd recommend that one. That's a good cherry. Got cherry and it got some more stuff in it. I'm not looking it up, but that's a good one.
I mean,
Um,
which is cool. We're just introducing people to the house, not to the niche, but
yeah,
the house. So,
yeah. I want to say that's the house itself is a good house. I think people enjoy it, but that's where I would go to introduce them. My last one, I have to go with my love, Roja. Now, I don't necessarily have a particular fragrance that I would recommend. Like, I don't own a fragrance that I would necessarily recommend to somebody just trying to figure out the house. This one, I mean, I would recommend this one, but being that you can't, I don't think you can get it anymore. I think it's discontinued, so I'm just showing it, just to be showing it. But from this house, to start off with, I would tell everybody to go with more than likely Elysium. Elysium Parfum to be exact, because I know the Parfum Cologne has disappointed a lot of people because they thought it was going to run. I mean, it thought it was going to last 700 years and it didn't. So Parfum Cologne seems to last me a good amount of time. And I think it's one of the safer ones. It's one of those that's a lot easier to kind of delve into because if you get something like what you get a lot from their other offerings. Now, let's take Amber to for example. You're gonna get civet, and not everybody's a fan of civet. You're getting a lot of that. I think on the safer side, you're the Elysium. A lot of your parfum colognes are probably going to be on the safer end. I don't think a lot of if I'm not mistaken, I don't think a lot of those offerings have the civet note in it. Not entirely sure, but I don't think they do. But that's one of the houses you have to be prepared for. So you have to try a lot. You have to love that house to really be fully engulfed in them. Because they don't have a lot that's going to be user friendly per se. And yeah, that's about it for me.
okay. So, who wants to go next?
Go ahead, B man.
uh, all right. Um, I got three houses. So I start with the first one I went to, Parfums of Harlem. I think that anyone who's transferring from designer to niche, that's a decent house to start with. And one of the scents that's very popular is Leighton, but I'm not gonna go in that direction. I'm gonna give you three different ones that I would look at if I was going into the house and I wanted to establish my collection. Number one would be Pegasus Exclusive. The reason why I said that is because it has a heavy um, almond note, but you kind of get two for one with this because it has the DNA of Leighton Exclusive along with the almond from Pegasus. This is a decent scent you can wear. You can wear it to work. You can wear it when you're going out. It works pretty well. I wouldn't wear it during the summer, but it works pretty well in cooler weather. So one of the problems with Pegasus, they said, is the almond note was very strong, and then it was like a metal type smell. So what they were saying, Pegasus exclusive is what they wanted Pegasus originally to be. So this is a real nice pickup from that house. For the summer is one of the favorites that I like is Settling. It's a citrus blend, easy wear. The warmer it gets, the better it seems like it gets. You can wear it anytime, work, when you're out, any occasion. For the people who are more mature, Carlisle is one of their flagship scents within Parfum de Marly on the higher end. It's more of a winter fall fragrance. One of the things about the notes with that is it's a lot of them. You have nutmeg, green apple, patchouli, vanilla, tonka, rose. Um, those are the prominent notes that I pick up when I smell it. Very, very, very mature scent. You can wear it anytime. A lot of people who are into Parfum de Marly swears by Carlisle, and it's like one of the top scents in their offerings from their house. Going to the Middle East, Arabian Oud. One of the scents is real easy to wear, and you can see if you could try to get your hands on it. A vanilla-based scent, which is Tartale Silver, one of my favorites. If I was getting into the house, this would be. Matter of fact, this is the one Jadre suggested me to get into when I first got into Arabian Oud. Award-winning scent, real popular. You can wear it year round. Another one, which was a good introductory, is Arabian Night Silver, mass appealing, citrus based scent. Very, very good scent. You can see I put a pretty good dent into this one since I had it. I wear it anytime, any type of occasion. And one of the rare ones that they have, if you're able to pick it up, is Desert Falcon Special Edition. I just picked this up a few weeks ago. Real easy wear. I think that the notes that they have is bergamot, amber, sandalwood, musk, patchouli, and vanilla. So it's real easy wear. And another house is Park Sense. One of the limited editions that he had is three of a kind. And what he did is he blended all three of the brands that he had, all three of the scents that he had into this one fragrance. It's a special edition. But if you can't get those, you can get Plead the Fifth, which is Dre's favorite. And you can also get Foreplay, which is mine. Matrimony, unfortunately, my daughter keeps stealing it every time I get it. So every time I get it, she steals it from me. So the reason why she likes it so much because you remind her so much of 540. So those are the three scents that those three houses that I would suggest people to go to, and some of the scents that you can get into, and then you can migrate from there. That's it.
Okay.
Hmm.
Well, I'll start off with going into my house of Creed, one of my favorite houses. And like Eric said earlier, I won't bring up Adventist because it wouldn't be one of the ones I would recommend. Um, the three that I'm going to recommend are very friendly to wear. First, that you should know about the House of Creed is it's made for the sophisticated and the affluent individual, and it's not a loud projecting fragrance. It actually goes no you go nose blind to it after an hour or two. So if you're looking for a fragrance house that's going to smell the room up when you come in, stay away from Creed because that's not what they do.
Hmm.
The first one is Virgin Island water.
Hmm.
I don't know if y'all can see that one. This is a very friendly one. The note that's prevalent in this one is coconut, and it's one of those things. It's more suitable in the warmer weather and the warmer climates.
Hmm.
You can pull it off in the winter months, but it wears better during the hotter, the spring and the summer months. The next one I'll say is Himalaya. This one has been around for a while. I think the 20 2002 2002 is when it came out. It was introduced. This one is a long time fragrance. It's safe to wear. It's a beautiful scent. It gets overshadowed by Venice because of the popularity Venice has.
Hmm.
The last one of that house I recommend is Himalaya. Himalaya is one of those, and you may have heard Bernie talk about on different shows. His wearing Himalaya into board environments and when they're board meetings, it's a safe fragrance to wear to those kind of events. All three of those are good fragrances to safely introduce somebody into the house.
Oh,
They're
you
not
show me
overbearing.
the you show me the Himalaya again?
They don't make them anymore.
No, you just show me that real quick though. Himalaya silver bottle, got it. I just need to
Yeah, they
make sure.
don't look at a Dre anymore. Don't look at
No,
it.
no,
But
I'm
these
searching
are
that right now.
these are
We're
three
like,
safe fragrances. They're potent, and they do what they're designed to do. But I would strongly recommend those three out of the numerous creeds that they have out there because they're safest to introduce whether you're immature nose or you new starting going in the niche or whether you're experienced nose. Those three I would strongly recommend. My next house is from the house of Clive Christian. A little bit about the house. Clive Christian is made for those individuals that are affluent, those people that have money. I'm not one of those, but I do like to smell good. They can be pretty pricey, but if I had to introduce somebody to the house, I would recommend strongly that they try these three first from that house to before they dive into the house. First one is 1872. This is a fresh fragrance. It's safe. No, they don't. Okay, Drake. There you go, Drake. This is a safe one to where it's not overbearing. You'll get 6 to 8 hours minimum out of them when you spray them, but they're very efficient and very effective, and you won't smell like any other person. The next one will be number one. This one is a 50 ml bottle. On retail, it runs about $7.50. So, like I say, they can be very expensive, but anybody that knows Clive Christian, they know Clive Christian. You can walk into a room and Clive Christian has a small following of people, but those people that are in the Clive Christian, they know Clive Christian when they smell it. My last one I'm going to recommend is C from the Private Collection. It's a woody leather fragrance. It's said to be one of the best woody leather fragrances on the market. This is strictly a winter scent or cold nature scent. I would strongly recommend it because this one is fire. As Dre says, fire. So I would recommend those three from Clive Christian. Florist London is an old house that's been around, and I'm going to recommend three that's safe from that house. The first one is German Street. It's a real safe one. All of these are EDTs. But you'll get 6 to 8 hours out of an EDT from them because they're one of the oldest fragrance houses that exist. But you'll get safely 6 to 8 hours out of them. No problem whatsoever from an EDT. The next one is number 89. This is another good one. You're going to get 6 to 8 hours out of it. And the last one I would recommend, Sentinel. This, same as the others, these are low-key sleepers. A lot of people they don't know that much about Florist London, but it's a well-established English house that's been around for years. And you can find these on the market for less than $100, but they're a quality product. I have the soaps. I have the lotions from them. They make all kind of things. They even make a mouthwash, and I do have
That
that as
still
well.
blows my mind.
Yeah, yeah. But those are the three that I would recommend from those three houses: the Creed, Clive Christian, and the Florist Sunderland. Those would be the three that I would recommend as an introduction into those houses, where you can safely transition into them and understand exactly what to expect from that particular house.
Okay, I guess it's my turn.
Yes,
Okay,
Yes,
sir.
so
sir.
yeah, with mine. Okay, so I had three houses that I want to talk about. Now, one of the first one I want to bring up was one that was in my collection, but I just recently sold. But for this particular house, this fragrance would be the ideal fragrance that you want to that would be entry level into this particular brand. Now, this brand has been out for a while, and they have a plethora of fragrance. When it Did y'all not see me anymore?
Yeah, we can
No,
see
you
you, hear you
still there?
too.
Okay, my screen timed out for whatever reason. But okay, but yeah, this particular house has a plethora of fragrances, um, but this is pretty much a house that's entry level into the niche world. So if anyone was to come to me and was like they hadn't um, experienced niche yet, this would be the house that I would recommend to them. And this is the house of Mancera. And the first fragrance from that house, and forgive me, fellas, I'm going to use this as my example for this
Oh, I got
particular
something for him.
fragrance. For this particular fragrance, I'm going to use um, C- uh, Sicily, right? This is an Aventus-ish type of fragrance. Instead of the pineapple, you got bergamot. It's fruity, it's spicy. Is the way it's different from Aventus, it's little powdery, a little white florally. It does last long. This is for the person that's into niche but doesn't want any heavy ambers or doesn't want the heavy gourmands or anything of that nature. They want to smell fruity. They want to smell fresh and clean. This is a summertime, daytime type of wear, right? And this is that person that wants to smell Aventus-ish, but doesn't want to smell Aventus. I mean, doesn't want to spend Aventus-ish type of dollars. Sicily is a great entry level point into Mancera. You can easily find that fragrance for about $100, and anyone can wear that fragrance, whether it's male or female. Anyone can wear that fragrance, regardless if they're in high school, all the way up to our age, right? So it's not juvenile, it's fresh, it's long lasting. My issue with it, and the reason why that I got rid of it, is because of the fact that as your nose graduates in this, that, and the other, it was a fragrance that got kind of a little bit boring to me because all it does is what it does, right? So for someone that is just getting into niche or just getting into Mancera, that would be one that I would recommend to them. Another one from that house, and I actually have that bottle of this one, is Cedroit Boise, right? And a lot of people pronounce this a couple of different ways. Some people say Cedret Bois, and there's a couple of other ways that I've heard it sound pronounced throughout Fragcom. This is another one that falls within that Aventus-ish type of DNA. This one is another one with bergamot. Uh, this one was another one with bergamot. I actually think there is pineapple in that one. That one does not have a smoky tinge to it at all, but it's another one that's just like Sicily, fresh all day. You could pretty much wear that in the same type of vein that you would wear Sicily, right? The same type of people that would wear Sicily, right? This one also can actually serve as a date night preference. Only difference between this and Sicily that I will say is this one just leans just a tad bit more masculine than Sicily, right? And yeah, it leans a tad bit more masculine than Sicily, but everything else is pretty much similar. They work well where you can actually layer those two fragrances together, and they work well throughout that process as well. Another one, and this is still what I would consider an entry level to the house. This is one of their most popular fragrances, right? It's also another what we call, all fragrances are genderless, but this one is another one that they say is unisex. But this is Instant Crush, all right? And this one puts you into that Baccarat Rouge 540 field. To me, they don't smell similar. This one, in my opinion, is a little bit more masculine than Baccarat Rouge 540. And I'm talking about the EDP. All right. For those that are familiar, you know, Baccarat Rouge has an EDP and also has an straight. Now, going back to this fragrance, this one just came out with an intense, right? So if you're interested in that, and from what I heard, I haven't smelled it. From what I heard, uh, there's not very much similar between the regular and the intense. I would sample both first, but both of all three of the ones that I showed you at first, you can find at that $100 price point, and they're both great for people that are just getting started into that niche realm. Now, I'm going to show these two at the same time because we were only supposed to do three per house, but I cheated. This is for a little bit more of an advanced fragrance user. So, but if I'm introducing them to the house and they're looking for a particular type of fragrance, if you're looking for something a little bit more masculine, you're looking for something a little bit more flavor. Okay, I got red tobacco for you. Red tobacco. It starts off with this little cherry note at first and dries down to this nice tobacco flavor. A lot of people complain about the opening on this fragrance, but this is a mad compliment getter in my collection. I don't wear it as often as I probably should, but this is actually a good fragrance. Again, amongst that 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 $100 price point. And my last from this house, and my favorite from this house, is Black Gold. This is very masculine leather fragrance, right? It's not harsh. It's easy to wear. It does have a little bit of oud in it. It's not one that I would that I would recommend to someone that hasn't experienced any type of niche fragrance at all. But it is safe to the point because it's pretty much linear. It doesn't do a lot of changing. It does have oud in it, but it's an oud that's not noticeable. But the star player in this one is the lavender, and I tend to like to layer these two together quite a bit. This is my favorite layer from what goes on. Now, my second house is for someone who's actually been in the niche game, but they want something that's just a tad bit different, something that's still mass appealing, something that's a little bit different, but will have you standing out and smelling um, different from everybody else. But at the same time, it's not something that is going to be very challenging. And my first one, and this is from the House of Argos, and my first one is going to be Triumph of Bacchus, right? If anyone was to ask me what fragrance should I start off from Argos, I'm telling them Triumph of Bacchus, right? And with Triumph of Bacchus, this is green apple, this is peach, this also has tobacco. Um, also has tobacco. Those are the star. It's a little bit more, but those are the star players in this particular fragrance. It's long lasting. You only need a little, and plus your presentation is stellar. Right now, if you want to start with this 30 ml bottle, this 30 ml bottle will probably only cost you 120, but the 130, but the 100 ml bottle is about 250, 260, so forth. But this is would be the safest buy. I wouldn't tell anybody to blind buy anything from anything that I'm about to say, but this would actually be the safest bet, right? Now, if you're looking for something just a tad bit more challenging, but still a great fragrance, and then especially if you are into leathers from this house, you want to go with Basio and Martel. And this is a great fragrance. I mean, this is a great leather fragrances. It has a great raspberry note that starts off on front, but when it dries down to that nice leather, nice amber, It is an amazing fragrance. Now, my last two, I'm going to show them both at the same time, and these are amazing fragrances. First, we're going to go with Adonis Awakens, right? Um, I do not know what's in this.
I was thinking about getting that one too.
Right. But it's one of my favorites from this house. And bear with me. Um, it starts off citrus. It does have a rose in it. Um, It has raspberry as well, but the dry down is sandalwood. It's rose and sandalwood on the dry down. Another long lasting fragrances. Both male and females can wear this. This is for the fragrance user that doesn't mind a unisex fragrance, doesn't mind a fragrance that's a tad bit sweet, and doesn't mind a fragrance, doesn't mind a nice ambery fragrance. I would recommend that to them. And this one is Danae. This one is straight sandalwood, right? I mean, this is straight woody, straight sandalwood. This is one that I would recommend to a person that you wants to dress up, wants to stand out in a professional or elegant type setting. This is one that they would go with particular house. All right. Okay. In my last house, I don't know why that came back up.
That was
but my
the
last,
same thing.
but my last house is not for the user that is, I mean, not for the wearer that is not familiar with um niche perfumery. You have to have some type of experience with niche perfumery if you want to dive into this particular house, right? Um, Now they do have some offerings that are a little bit easier to wear than others. The ones that I'm about to display are not that. Um, the easiest one that I have here is a summertime wear. Is they say it's aquatic. I don't get aquatic from it, but it is with this particular house. If you're going to dive in this particular house, you do have to make a commitment because these fragrances do not play. They will stay with you the whole day. And if you don't know, if you guys don't know who I'm talking about already, it's Unique A Luxury. And the first one that I want to
Oh
come
yeah.
across is Acdenis, right? This is an aquatic, fresh, spicy fragrance that you can wear in the summertime. I can't give it because on my to my nose, I haven't smelled anything that pretty much smells like this. But what happens when you spray this, it goes from citrus to spicy immediately, and it's an amazing dry down. And again, it's another fragrance that'll last completely all day, right? Um, and my next one, and this is why I say you have to be careful who you would recommend these fragrances to. Now, for someone that's with a Sauvage nose or a Blue de Chanel nose, Invictus type of nose, these are not the fragrances that I would recommend to them because this is a fragrance that is a for a niche perfume or niche fragrance wearer. I made the mistake one time. Well, I ain't gonna say I made a mistake. I did what I did on purpose. But before we started doing this Illuminati stuff, and we started going into these groups, I used to post my fragrances on my page. I mean, post what I'm wearing on my personal page on my Facebook, and one of my friends from Detroit, grabbed onto the page. I mean, grabbed on and looked and seen me describing the fragrance, And I'm not sure how true it was or not that he, off my recommendation, that he went and bought this fragrance, right? But since then, I haven't heard anything else from it. I don't know. He hasn't told me whether he liked it or disliked it or anything into that sort. So I don't know. But for a niche snob, this is a great fragrances, especially if you are into gourmands and if you are into sweet fragrances and if you are into fragrances that last all day. This is going to be Crush on Me, right? This is caramel, this is patchouli, and those are the star two players on this particular fragrance right here. And once when I tell you, as you can see, you do not there's barely a dent in this bottle as you and as you can see, you spray this, it's on. It doesn't take one or two sprays. You will project and you will smell like a caramel cake for the rest of the day. Right. So I would be careful for this type of recommendation. If I was recommending someone to this is not for someone that I would be recommending to the niche world. This would be a fragrance that I would be recommending to the house of Unique Luxury. Right. So, and someone that I would know has a gourmand nose and has a niche nose, and that is Crush on Me. And my last and final fragrance is in that same vein, except for the fact of the matter, except for a gourmandish, right? You gotta it's boozy, right? So you would want to actually be committed to smell like booze and like I said at the beginning, with this particular house is just being an introductory to the house, not an introductory to niche, because you already have to go into this house with niche experience. And with this particular fragrance, I'm talking about Kude.
I
And
knew it.
there's several different pronunciations to this particular fragrance as well. Some people call it Kute, some people call it Cootie, some people call it Cuddy. You know,
Cuddy.
right? So, uh, so right. But this one is whiskey, tobacco. I think it has a little honey in it, and damn, just that little whiff. I mean, it smells amazing, but this is a one sprayer. This is very situational. This is a fragrance that you would probably wear maybe at a cigar bar, you hanging out with your boys, this, that, and the other. I definitely would not wear this on a first date. I definitely would not wear this at work. I definitely would not wear this at church. I wouldn't wear this. I wouldn't wear this and go driving. You would get
Honestly, that's not that
you would
ain't
get
no just
breathalyzer
put it
right
on whenever.
there. Right.
You got to be doing
So
something for that one.
exactly. This is very situational. This is hanging out with the boys and this, that, and the other. But again, as I stated before, this is a fragrance that I would introduce. I mean, this would be something I would introduce if I was introducing someone to the house, not to the world of niche, but Kute by Unique
Fire
Luxury.
sauce.
Right. Now, with all of these that I just showed you from Unique Luxury, again, these are not cheap. And this is the old presentation, by the way. This is the new presentation with the new caps and this, that, and the other. Right. And thanks and shout out to Antoine for this bottle. He sent me this one right here. But
You been getting rid of some fire too.
right.
Mhm.
And these bottles retail for over $300. So this one in particular, 380. So like that, that friend of mine that went and bought that on he placed it on his he said it on his post. I'm like, he's like, he described it so eloquently. I had to go buy a bottle of that expensive stuff. And I'm like,
Mhm.
okay. And when he's telling me that he bought it, I'm like, man, I could have got you a discount because I know Crush on Me is about 330, right? And I'm telling them, I'm like, okay, well, I wish you'd have said something because I could have got you a discount code or something, right? But since then, I mean, received the bottle, or even if he was telling the truth about buying the bottle, I have no clue. But
I
because
was
we never
saying
talked
that's a
about it again, so
that's an
and
Rock, let me
investment
let
right
me
there,
whether
Jack.
Rock,
you liked it or not,
Mm.
Rock,
huh?
Rock. Dude contacted me. Let me tell you the real story, man. He said he bought it. No, I got to put this out here, man, so people know what happened. Don't leave dude hanging. He
Mm.
contacted me. He said, "Man, I ain't fooling Rock no more, man. Rock should have told me what that was gonna cost before I spent my last income tax check, man, buying that." He said, "Now I can't buy nothing else, man." He said, "I ain't fooling Rock no more. Yeah, I smell good, but I gotta smell good for the next 3 years because I gotta make this up." So that's what happened to
Hey.
dude, man.
This particular dude don't have that type of problems though. Don't have them type of problems. But I understand what you understand what you're saying. But I was like, man, I was like, I wish you'd have hollered at me first before
Oh, see, that's not something you just
you
go
just
off of the whim just because somebody said it's good.
in which he may have been a niche. Um, you know, everybody in Detroit swear they bosses. So he may be a niche perfume, niche fragrance type of connoisseur. I didn't know that. I don't know what his fragrance game is like. So it might be something he into, might be something he not, but he never hit me back and said whether he liked it or not. So
Y'all,
like,
did
okay.
y'all get a scent of the day? What y'all wearing as a scent of the day?
Uh-oh.
Oh, I
Uh-oh.
went with
Let me tell you what mine
I
is.
didn't bring
Oh
mine
yeah,
out.
go ahead. I got mine right here.
I didn't bring
I
mine
I
out
did
here.
I did the number one, man. This has got
Mm.
this has got the thing with
Mm.
this one. This one
Mm.
has 23 plus ingredients in it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's about a 30% concentrate.
Mm-hmm.
So this one, I went to bed wearing it last night and got up this morning and sprayed it. Man, this is oof.
Followers, he's not lying. I went to test that before I got some, and I put it on my wrist. I took 2 showers, and it was still on me. So when you pay that money, that 30%
Yeah, you get it.
concentrate, you get every piece of it. You
Yep.
get every piece of it.
Well, I got one that's shockingly been out of
Uh-oh.
control.
Savage.
Nah, we ain't going to survive today. Not today. Let me get it out.
Uh-oh.
Michael Jordan.
Oh shit. The special gift joint. The special gift
Nah,
joint.
I'm not wearing that. Oh,
Oh,
shit.
okay.
I went with Rosa Madison. This is
You did show that. Yep.
yeah, this is one of the ones I showed that I didn't say anything about, but they said it's real. I haven't tried Midsummer's Dream, but they say it's
Mm.
real close to it. And Rock knows about Midsummer's Dream. That stuff has lasted about probably about 15 hours.
Damn.
But
Wow.
I don't know what's happening. I can't get the smell out of my nose. I don't know if it's just stuck to my nose hairs or what, but this stuff has
Mm.
lasted forever, and I love the smell of this.
Depending,
I don't know.
my son graduates from college on Friday, and depending on what the weather is, I might break out Midsummer's Dream that day.
I'm about to say if it smells anything like that, you definitely should. That stuff there is fire
He said
sauce.
15 hours. Good God.
Yeah, at least. And I'm like, I was in the same boat Leonard was in. Took a shower. For some
Mm.
reason, I still smelled it. Like, well, no, you said that. I'm tripping.
Burn it. Yeah,
Well,
burn
no,
it
both of
some.
y'all said
Mm.
that. But anyway,
Yeah.
yeah,
Mm.
it
I said
lasted.
it.
Yeah, I
And
meant to bring my son of the day out here, but shoot, I have to bring him 10 bottles of everything else. But I'm wearing. I'm from Abagant. Am I saying that correctly, Leonard?
that's close enough.
Okay,
How about
I'm from Abagant. I got
Hubergant,
Ubagant. Okay, I'm wearing
Hubergant.
Figure Noir, right?
Mm.
And that one is a fig dominant fragrance. It's a
Mm-mm.
right. It's
Mm.
fig dominant fragrance. It's got fig in the middle, fig up top, fig at the bottom, and it's got a different type of fig. It's got I think it's got just a regular fig up top. Let me bring it up here.
And that is a good one. I put my nose on that one. That's a good one.
It is fire. I love it. And I also love the other one from that house that they got.
That's
So
an
I'm
old
gonna get
house
number
too.
one. I know that much.
Right. Okay. So and it's a
No,
wood
Number
get number.
one,
No,
it's a
get
number
wood.
number
one,
two. Get number two.
number one, bro. That dude
Nah.
sprayed my wrist 2 showers and I couldn't get rid of that shit. Yeah, I mean, you that junk don't play, bro.
Yeah,
No,
fig
I'm
fig
getting it.
noir got fig leaf,
Hmm.
black fig, and then regular fig. Right. So it's got
Wow.
fig
Jesus.
throughout. Right. And so and it's one of
Mm-mm.
those fragrances that you got to be careful with because it's so fresh at the beginning, but once it
Mm.
dries down and that fig pop out, if you spray too much, that fig can be annoying. So you just have to be mindful that it's going to get stronger as you wear it. So don't go crazy at the beginning.
Oh, got it. So you said buy it now and just do what it do. So I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just buy all y'all stuff. I ain't gonna lie to you. Y'all can
Uh,
We
get
know
rid of
better than that.
yourself.
Hey, we ain't got to worry
huh?
about none of that. We know better, Dre, because you got your eye on certain things, man. So we know you're
Mhm.
not really buying anything right now.
I mean, and I really don't care. If they cheaper, and none of y'all live in Colorado, so it don't matter to
Mhm.
me.
Jesus
Uh,
Christ.
well,
No,
You
I
wasn't
well,
even
didn't.
my
I
supposed to
didn't call.
know that.
I didn't
Mhm.
call Dre's number, man. Dre talking about he's gonna buy all that stuff. Dre's in a
shoot.
he's in a holding pattern right now, man. He can't land the plane yet. He's got his eye
I,
on something else. So
I do like him getting him a land because he's doing his Creed run. That would be one that I think he'll like.
it's a good one.
Oh,
It's a good one.
it's going on the list.
Hmm.
When I'm getting it,
Well,
I have no idea,
well, my
What all
but
son,
ones do you
it's
have,
it's
Dre?
happening.
he got
Hmm?
Virgin, Allen Water, Royal Oud. He got a Venice. I think he did Green Irish Tweed, and he got a
Yeah, I got a green
en
Irish
route.
Tweed and what's the other one? The other water?
You got the Virgin
Roll
Island
water.
Water, Silver Mountain Water.
Silver Mountain Water too.
Hmm.
Okay.
So I got those and I got Spice and Wood.
Oh, so you went ahead and did it?
I already had it.
He's been
That's,
having
Oh,
that
that's
okay,
one.
one reason I
Yeah,
can
okay,
he's
get it
been
from him.
having that one.
okay.
I'm trying to think. I got Never Seen Imperial too.
Oh, that's right. You sure did. Yeah,
I
Yeah.
would
that's right.
I would strongly recommend Tabaron Millicene if you can find it.
Oh
Put your
shit.
I
nose on that one.
found it. You know, it's messed up because I found it, and right before I was about to ask to get it, so
It went.
Hmm.
yeah. So I was like, all right,
If
well,
you can sample that one, I really like that one. If you can sample that one, I would sample. I like that one better than Royal Oud.
you know, I'm not a sample man. You know, I got to just buy it.
Hold on, that's
Is
blasphemy now,
tambourine?
Leonard.
Is
You said
tambourine?
you said you like
That
that
the
better than
tobacco?
raw. Ooh,
Is that the
Yeah,
tobacco
Leonard.
yeah, I
one?
do.
Oh
Huh?
Lord,
Yeah,
Lord.
that one. Hold on, no, that one's supposed. Yeah, I think that's supposed to be the tobacco one, ain't it?
What?
It's a
The
The
medicine?
yes. It's a cigar. Yes, cigar tobacco scent. Yeah.
Then again,
okay.
okay, okay. I take that back. All right, I see what you're saying. My bad.
It's
Well,
nice, man. It's nice.
you know that
I'm
raw
gonna have
ooh,
to
man.
put another search out and see if I can run across it because I don't think the other thing I'm looking for is gonna pop up anytime soon. I'm just trying to make sure when it does, I'm prepared for it. So I'm just getting ready
Oh,
for that now. So it might be some more stuff that gets sold randomly,
mm. Oh,
like
that,
what is this? How Fettuccine
mm,
might be hitting the chopping block.
mm.
Y'all do this every time, but we still on the air. I hope y'all know.
Oh,
uh, well, my son of the day is a recent purchase from the House of Clive. Rock
I need that.
Rose,
I need it.
excellent scent, excellent scent. Put it on at 1 o'clock and it's still kicking, man. Nice fresh scent. Thanks for the recommendation there, Lenny, the representative of Clive.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna steer you wrong, man.
Well, shit, I guess I need to go and get me a Clive. Where y'all going?
All
I
right,
was
all
about to
right,
say
Man,
you might as
all
well just go
Running
on
out
out there
there.
with us, man.
that number
Go get you
one
a
though,
Clive, man.
he won't lie about that. That number
I
one,
just
It's bad, man.
Yeah.
I just found one, but it's 350, and that's a little bit more than I'm willing to spend at the moment.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I paid the $750 retail on that number one I got.
Oh,
Ooh.
Yeah,
oh.
I didn't know any better.
Ooh. Nah, I can't do that one.
This is hard though, man. I mean, some that damn. I mean, when I say strong, I'm not listeners. I'm not saying it's so strong as overbearing. We're talking about when people complain about certain scents not lasting long. Yeah, you get every bit of that. He sprayed me one time on my wrist, 2 showers, and I still smelled it. That stuff is strong, man.
That's what I keep
And it's
telling
but
people. Like,
it's not overbearing. That's the
Mm-hmm.
difference.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it
and a
doesn't
lot of
project 5 miles out.
but that's
Mm-hmm.
what I tell people all the time. Like, the a scent lasting could just be like your what you call it? Your like
Mm-hmm.
your routine.
Your pH balance,
Yeah, like
your,
it's so many
Mm-hmm.
it's so
your
many things. It could be like it could be you just
right,
don't take showers, and it could be
skin
anything.
chemistry, all that stuff. And
He
Oh,
then
said,
they're like you
yo,
gotta
and
he
we
said,
did
don't wash your
when
hind
we did
parts up.
yeah.
What'd you say, Rock?
we
What'd
did
you
a
say,
show
Rock?
on that as well, on how to apply fragrances and
Yeah.
that and the other.
Yeah.
All right, so
It might just be it might just not be lasting because you still got on yesterday's dirt.
Mm. Mm.
Like
Okay,
it's
Dre.
just gonna fall off
What
of
you
that,
got
man.
in the cup, Dre? What you got in the cup, man? What you got in the cup, Dre?
Water.
Water.
I
That's what he
mean,
said last time.
I mean, well, he's telling the truth though, so it ain't a matter of
What's that?
liquor ain't got to be talking. It's just a matter. It's
You know what
fact.
I'm saying? Like you just gotta,
It's facts, right? I mean, even
because
with
some
Soprano
people
Dre, even
miss.
Soprano Dre, right? So
Oh, we lost Dre, yo. He froze,
He
yo.
froze up, man.
did he freeze?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
man.
froze
There you
up.
go. He back.
There you
He
go.
back.
What's happening right now?
Yeah, he froze up.
Right. Like he
But
hit that
yeah,
soprano note for a second, then his camera was like, "Whoa!"
but yeah, that's what it take most of the time. Like people just really miss out on this stuff. They just think they just gonna spray some stuff on, it's just gonna last forever. Like, nah, that's not how it works. Like, I mean, there are some that don't last as long as others. True enough. But, like when you see most of the community saying, "Yeah, man, this thing lasts 700 hours," and you're the only one that it only lasts 22 minutes on, then you got to kind of start questioning your bath routine, my guy.
Oh Lord.
So
Oh
the
Lord.
real answer to the entry level fragrance,
Mm-hmm.
right, that we recommend is soap and water.
That's the real. You
Soap
have
and
to
water.
start there.
Start there.
Start there.
Use a
Moisturize.
wash,
Don't go outside with ashy skin either.
right?
Like
Use a
Mm.
wash rag, right? Apply some moisturizer, right?
apply. Like
Apply some moisturizer, and then spray your fragrance.
I
Right?
was say you gotta do all the essentials first before you can't just jump out and go straight to the fragrance, man.
Right.
This is completely off topic from what we're supposed to be talking about, but whatever. Man,
Mm.
wash your ass.
So
My bad,
is
guys.
this a free tip? Is this a free tip?
free of charge. Like, we're not charging you guys anything for this. Like I promise you, it's
Mm.
gonna work. It's gonna work wonders. You'll have some fragrances that you've had for so long, and you've had to reapply 700 times through the day. Now you find you only have to spray it twice, and it lasts forever. Look at that. Look at God.
Rock, take us out, man. Take us out, Rock.
What was it before we get out of hand?
Well, folks might have been enjoying the conversation, but I guess I get it. But yeah, this was um this was house recommendations for if you are new to these particular houses, right? If
Mhm.
you have some houses that we haven't talked about before, right,
Mhm.
that you want to recommend to us, right, and we're not talking about RMF, right? Don't recommend RMF, right? Right. And
And
Not
it could be if you have questions about particular houses that we're familiar with.
Mhm.
okay,
then
That too.
hit us in the comment section, and we'll get a response back, because we've got some of everything. I'm more limited in brands than they are. Rock has got a good versatile of different houses. So does Andre. Bernie specializes in Middle East. He has some U.S. fragrances as well. Not U.S. fragrances, but
No,
we have
Western.
pretty much some of everything that you can imagine. So if you have questions on a particular brand and you want to have some idea of what to look for going into a particular brand, if we don't, pose a question to us. If we don't know the answer, we'll get you the answer that you need to make sure that you'll provide the information that you can make a good opinion, a guess on whatever it is that you're looking into.
Yeah. So we got a little bit of knowledge over here. That's a tad bit.
I guess that's it for the Illuminati, at least for this particular episode. We like to take a moment in time. This episode will probably air a week afterwards, but we want to go ahead and wish all the beautiful mothers out there, a happy Mother's Day. All right.
Absolutely.
So, and any graduates out there, a happy graduation, and enjoy the rest of your week, y'all. We
Shout
are
out to my son. He's a college graduate officially this week. Shout out to my son. Yeah.
Mine is too. Degree in music.
Congratulations.
Right. Degree in music.
As am I.
Yeah. Like I told my son, I own his publishing for like the next 3-4 years. So I mean some fragrances. All right.
Ready to get the payday.
Right. You guys enjoy. It was a nice fellowshipping with you fellas. And
man.
To next week, people. We the Illuminati, y'all.
Like and subscribe.
No doubt.
And follow us everywhere too, or else.